Okay, part 3 of Photobucket. Let's minimize this. We'll maximize up this Photobucket homepage. And so now we've seen that there's a URL at the top. We can copy that out, send it to people, say, check out all the pictures in this album. There's not too many pictures in this album. And first off, let's just look at this album as if you had emailed this to me. And notice at the top, it's in green, it says log in. We're not logged in, and of course if you send this to somebody, they don't know our password, and so they can't log in. They can't delete our pictures or mess with them or anything. All they can do is browse them and look at the pictures. So this is what somebody gets if you just send them this link at the top, the URL. And notice on the left, the first thing it shows here, it says share this album. It wants to make it easy so we can send this to other people. And it again gives us that very same URL. If I hover my mouse on it, it shows it. We could copy and paste that out. It would be the very same thing. And underneath it, it shows all these icons. The first one is MySpace, Facebook, Blogger, all these different things, more. I don't use any of them. It's all too complicated. Underneath that, if we scroll down, it shows the actual albums, and you see here they're titled Kev 73 Datsun, Kev 77 Datsun, Kev Model A, Tom Horn, Tom Shocks. I just created those ones for you as a guess of where you might put things. If you want to put something into a new folder, you'd have to make a new folder, and maybe in time this will get amalgamated, or I'll delete my pictures. I've got very few here. I can make a new one. But it saves you the trouble to have to register with a Photobucket here. So, and then I think there's nothing else of importance on their homepage. It says what's new, upload camera phone pics. I'm not about to use a camera phone, so I'm not going to need it. If we go up to the top again, the only other thing that I see is there's the login. I guess you can do a search on within Photobucket, but I never use that either. So the things that I would use is the green login if we're going to upload pictures to this, and I would actually look at the pictures. Now if somebody else, if you send them this, what they would see is they can click on the words at the top, ahoogakev, all albums, and ahoogakev default album. And right now we're in the default album, which I'm going to delete because I don't like the name of that very much. But if you want to change, then you click on these ones at the top. So if we click on ahoogakev, it brings up this page which says recent albums, which I just uploaded here half an hour ago. And it shows a few pictures of what I was messing with. And notice it always shows the picture and it says what album it's in. It says this picture of my dash is in Kev 73 Datsun. This yellow Datsun truck is in Kev 73 Datsun. The fender picture is in ahoogakev default album. The fender, the green one, is in Kev Model A, and then the pictures of my Datsun are in the Kev 77 Datsun one. Then in the upper right-hand corner it shows play as a slideshow. I guess you can click on that and it'll show you each picture. But that's all bells and whistles I don't really worry about very much. Notice in the upper right-hand corner you can click on all albums. That will probably give the same thing as what I would recommend a person do, which is in the upper left-hand corner to click on all albums. Go to somebody else's site that uses Photobucket, because I don't know how they do things and how they set up their site. The easiest way to figure out what's what is click on all albums. That probably glitched my voice, so I'll say it again. If I'm going at somebody else's site that I've never seen before on Photobucket, the easiest thing to do is just click on all albums and get a list of all their albums, and then you can try and figure out where their picture is. So in this case, we look at ahoogakev, and we see I've got the default one with one image. We've got Kev 73 Datsun with 2 images, Kev 77 Datsun with 2 images, Kev Model A with 1 image, Tom Horn and Tom Shocks, and those 2 are both empty. So there's not very many pictures in this at all. Photobucket will let you put up a lot, probably 500 pictures or 1,000, I don't know, a lot of pictures before you run out of space. So there's no problem there. We can make many, many albums. For somebody who is just coming here and browsing, then of course what they want to do, they click on one of these. You've probably done this before. We'll click on Kev 77 Datsun. And it's very low here. It slows down because of this recording capturing program to show all video. But what pops up is a thumbnail showing what's in this album. And notice at the top now it says ahoogakev, all albums, Kev 77 Datsun. So from that we know that we're in the album Kev 77 Datsun. We're not in Tom Horn or we're not in Tom Shocks, we're in my Datsun one. And if somebody was looking at this, they say, hey, I like that little picture, let's see it. Of course, if they click on that picture, then they will see that picture full size. Also, before we click on it, if you look at the top of my screen and you look at the URL, you see it's now changed, hasn't it? I'll make it blue so we can see it more easily. And now it shows this long thing of photobucket.com albums 306 ahoogakev, but now it says at the end of it /Kev 77 Datsun. So if you wanted to mail somebody an email and you wanted them to get directly into this album so that it was a picture of just all your shocks, let's say, then you would copy out and paste that URL, put it in some email and say, click on this link, and you'll see a bunch of my pictures of my horn, or my shocks, or my 77 Datsun. So that changes. But once we click on the actual picture, I think and these links are getting longer all the time, and that's the problem with URLs, is they're so long. You know, they're way too long to type out by hand, right? The only ones I type out by hand is like w.google.com, maybe w.fordbarn.com, but pretty much after that, every place I go, it's either bookmarked or I copy and paste it because I don't want to type it any more than that. Let's click on this picture here and see what it would look like. Okay, and once again, because my monitor is not all that big, you see it doesn't show the whole picture on my screen. I want to show on the left-hand side there, notice it says viewing one picture of 2 pictures, and then you can click in brackets, view the entire album. It says I'm at the beginning, and there's 2 thumbnails. So if we click on those, we would change to the next picture, or view it in larger size, I guess, in this case. As soon as I move my mouse over, it says it's 75%. Now, of course, if I click on it, it'll get bigger. And I think what Photobucket has done is it says add a comment at the bottom. I think it lets a viewer, anybody who comes along, could write a comment under there, and they can say that's a really wonderful looking picture or a really bad looking picture. But I don't think that'll ever happen. We don't have to worry about it. Probably, if you see somebody else's picture and you want to download it, and you say, gee, I like that picture, I want to get it. See this at the top says download. I'm sure if we click on that, we could download the picture. But we're not worrying about downloading because we're not up. And that's what somebody would see. And not also notice, whoops, I got to go to part 3.